Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. All right, glass gotta come off. I don't like that reflection and it drives me nuts. Um, Today I want to talk to you about truth over approval. If you are seeking approval and validation from other people, outside sources, if you're looking for approval and validation from other people, you're not chasing truth. Approval and validation from another human being is you handing your power over to that person to make life decisions for you. Do you know what you're saying to those people? That you need their approval and their validation? What you're telling them is, I don't believe that I am mature enough, I am smart enough to make adult decisions on my own. So I need the rest of everybody else to give me that approval and validation so I know that I can do that stuff. You just handed your power over to everybody. Excuse me, allergies are horrible. I've been clipping the weeds outside this morning, earlier today. So that pushes up some of the dust and bothers the allergies. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so when you walk up to somebody or people, family, friends, significant others, it doesn't matter who it is, a boss, a coworker, absolutely anybody. When you walk up to somebody and need their approval or validation, you're essentially telling them that you can't make that decision on your own. Now, if you want somebody's opinion, that's different. But an opinion means that you're not necessarily going to listen to what they say. You're just wanting some feedback. That's different. If you need approval and validation, that means that you need many people or a few people. You need other people to tell you what to do. If you're looking for approval and a validation from anybody, you're literally looking for somebody else to control your life. When you find your true authentic self, you learn to love yourself and you energetically level up. The only thing that you chase after is truth. And the hard part about doing this, if you've watched previous videos, I've been doing this for over 6 years now. And I can tell you the one hardest thing about doing this is you really see how many people in your life don't have your best interest at heart. They just want to play games and manipulate and control. It's overwhelming at times to realize how many people in our world, not just America, but in our world, that all they know how to do is manipulate and control. That's what our whole world is about. All your commercials, everything is about manipulating you into doing what they want, which is spend your money on their products. That's why the whole joke of keeping up with Joneses, because you got to make yourself look like you're doing well. Possessions and money do not prove you're doing well. You could have all the money in the world and all the most magnificent material possessions in the world, but deep inside your soul and your heart, you could be so lonely, so empty, so lost. Possessions and money do not get rid of that. The only way to get rid of that is to literally find your true authentic self, learn to love yourself, and energetically level up. When you do, you see every manipulator for who they are. And in the beginning, you question it. Because believe me, when I started on this journey, I questioned all of it. Am I really seeing that? Yes, you are. And the thing is, the more you learn to see it, the more it's blatant, like real quick. You can see somebody manipulating you. Somebody, they just want control. Like I've said in other videos, my favorite one that I love is when they want to think that they have some control over my life, my time. Because I can make more money. I can get more possessions. I can never make more time on this earth. I can't do that. So I value time over anything else. If I'm busy doing something, I'm working on projects, I have a lot of things that are going on. I don't have time. When I say I'm working, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm out doing delivery. I could be doing something else. And it's nobody's business because one, I'm single, and two, it's just me. I owe nobody an explanation for my time. And the truth is, if you are seeking approval and validation, you are handing your life and your power over to somebody else to make decisions for you. You are telling myself and the rest of the world that you are not mature enough and you are not intelligent enough to make decisions for yourself. Because once you find your true authentic self and learn to love yourself, you don't need that acceptance. You don't need that approval. You don't need that validation. Because all of it's in here. You know who you are. You know what works for you and what don't. And I've talked on videos, previous videos about my past and what I went through. And you keep learning the same lesson over and over again until you decide that you're going to learn it. And at any time, you can learn it. It requires you learning to love yourself, find your true authentic self, and energetically leveling up. And it's not hard to do. It's eye-opening. There's a process of needing to mourn because you realize how many people in your life were just using you. And if you're a kind person, manipulators flock to you. They just flock to you because they think that kindness means weakness. The truth is, kindness is not weakness in any way, shape, or form. The fact that somebody has to be manipulative and controlling, that is weakness. And it's funny to watch, which is why I don't really watch the news or keep up with what's going on, because all it is just manipulation. They just want to control everybody and everything so then they can have what they want. And that's not healthy. That's not. They're not in control. They're weak. Manipulation and control is weakness. It's huge insecurities. Manipulative and controlling people literally are insecure people. That's what it is. So if you're seeing people around you be manipulative and controlling, they're just insecure. That's not your problem. You can't fix their security. They have to do it. Only you can fix your own problems, your own insecurities. Like I said, you have to find your true authentic self, learn to love yourself, and energetically level up, because you take that power away from all manipulators and controllers. Literally, because you don't need their approval, their validation, their acceptance. You don't need it anymore. And when they come at you with the games, because I'll tell you one, and my mother was queen of guilt trips. So when somebody brings a guilt trip towards me, I'm like, nope, arm's length. You're not worth my time. And so I value time over anything else. I can't get it back. And like I've shared in previous videos, I've got a grandchild coming. I broke a ton of generational curses with my children. And my next goal is to break some more curses so none of the future generations of my children ever have to go through what I went through or what my mother had to go through. Because, yeah, I've talked a lot about my mother and some of the mean, horrible things that she did. But there were good, too. A lot of it came down to she never dealt with her hurt. Misery loves company, and she was a miserable person, and she just wanted to make everybody else that. However, as I got older, especially in like my teen years, my mother would see, because I've always been a kind, empathetic person. My mother could see that I couldn't see that way because I'm not that way. So I couldn't see how they thought. My mother in my teen years spent a lot of time teaching me how to see these things. And that's how I have learned to do what I'm doing now. And the thing is I stayed focused for many years on raising my kids and breaking that toxicity and that dysfunction that was in my family, which comes on both sides of my family, both my mom and my dad's side. So that was getting broken with my children. And I messed up. We all do. We're human beings. We can't have no mistakes. Failure is how you learn. So you have to be able to recognize when you did something wrong, apologize for it, and correct that behavior. And your children will see this, and it will become something that they do too, because they've seen you do it. So my focus was mainly on my children and breaking those generational curses of toxicity and dysfunction in my family, which I did an excellent job of. But as I used to tell people, I won't know until my children are older. And now they're older. So we're talking 32 and 33. So my children are older. So I now know that I did break those generational curses. Now my goal is to set up the following generations to not have to deal with some of the crazy shit. We're changing our family dynamics from toxicity and dysfunction. And my children are 100% on board with it because that's what I taught them growing up. And they see things, which is kind of a double-edged sword for them. And I knew it was going to be sharing them that information with them because they were going to see things differently than everybody else. But if I wanted to change future generations and break that toxicity and dysfunction, I had to be brutally honest and real with my children. And then after they grew up, I went and lived my life a little bit, made some poor decisions. And then that's when I decided in 2020, I'm done. That's it. I'm focusing on me. I'm learning to, I've always loved myself. I've always tried to stay my true authentic self. It was always the energetically leveling up that I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at, I talk to God regularly. Before I used to, but I used to do it more often. I always would look up to the sky and thank him. That was always something that I did, but I didn't thank him enough. I wasn't grateful enough. And I tended to reach out a lot more when life got hard. The last 6 years, that's not how it's been. The last 6 years has been complete interaction with the man upstairs. And the truth is, I don't usually go to people for advice on things. I literally go to him. And then he tells me, he gives me what I need to know. And the more you learn to do that, the more confident you get in knowing when he's actually giving you information. Because your mind can play some really big games on you. And that's how manipulators and controllers control you. Because they know that your mind can play tricks on you. And that's what they bank on. So if you want to get rid of dealing with the manipulators and controllers, you've got to follow truth. Not acceptance, not approval, not validation, because none of that is truth. That's somebody else's. And if people around you are manipulative and controlling, just know they're that way because you have no desire to control another. When you're in control of yourself, you have no desire to control another human being because you know it's hard enough to control yourself that you wouldn't even care to try to control another human being. People who are controlling and manipulative literally are telling every one of us that they're out of control of themselves. Manipulative and controlling people literally do not have control of themselves. That's why they reach outside of themselves to control the people around them. Because they believe in their head that if they can control the people around them, their life will be easier. They're too insecure and too afraid to realize that all of that's from inside. It's in your heart and soul. So come on, let's get you loving yourself, being your true authentic self, and energetically leveling up. It's a great place to be. Anyways, guys, I'll leave you with that today. Love ya. Bye.